So with that, I'd like to turn it over to the governor. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Let me just say, first of all, that I've been to this facility before to get a sense for how much capacity these folks have to move tests. And while it seems relatively quiet here now, part of the reason it seems relatively quiet is a big part of the operation here takes place at what we might call off hours. Tests come in toward the end of the day as clinicians over the course of the day issue orders, and then this place hums like a beehive at night, and it goes back, and the stuff that's been tested over the course of the evening goes back to the provider first thing in the morning with results. And when we first got into this space with respect to constraints around testing, I called Steve fairly early in that process. He mentioned they finally got approval on March 9th to really double down on this, and I called him right around that same period of time and said, I certainly hope that Massachusetts is going to have a big role to play. I've been to that site. They have a ton of great people there and a lot of capacity, and he basically said, of course. And as soon as we get to the point where we make the pivot and have the ability to start doing significant testing, you should come out and visit with us. And that's the reason why the Lieutenant Governor and I and Secretary Sudders are here today. I think everybody knows at this point that the CDC broadened their guidelines with respect to who could be tested a little less than a week ago. We incorporated those guidelines almost immediately. We believe that over the course of the next several days and weeks, there will be an enormous increase in the amount of testing that takes place on a daily basis here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Can't happen fast enough, but I do believe that with the pivots and the adjustments that are being made by organizations like Quest here in Marlborough and by many of our hospital partners and by the state lab and other organizations, we will get to the point where we're doing the amount of testing every day that we believe we need to be doing. The other thing I do want to mention is many of you know we submitted a disaster request to the Small Business Administration several days ago. They turned around that request and acknowledged and approved Massachusetts small businesses for disaster recovery relief, and we fully expect we'll be working with the SBA to ensure that their resources are brought to bear to support small businesses here in the Commonwealth. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Secretary of HHS and